thank my co-authors, Drs. Jinhee Kim and Dr. Michael Gutter, who were unable to be here today. Dr. Kim is in South Korea, and Dr. Gutter is in the building somewhere. I think he got pulled into a program leader emergency phone call from the state. So I wanted to thank them. Working with them on this project has been very exciting and rewarding. It's an interesting topic. It's exciting to get into something kind of personal and dig in and see what the research says right now and try to find some application and hopefully some recommendations for all of you. Additionally, I want to thank Dr. Sharon Devaney, and I'll give a shout out to Angela, who is an excellent kind of copy editor and guide as we went through the revision process. She was very patient and very helpful as we got this paper ready for you guys to read. So, very helpful. So this paper seeks to understand the role of extended families. So I like a title with alliteration. So this is Extended Families, Support, Socialization, and Stress. And I think we're maybe already starting to think of some examples from our own life. And we had a couple goals for this. So first we wanted to understand what is the role of extended families. We use a couple definitions about extended families and biological or actual relatives, and sort of these shared households. What does a shared household look like? So extended families and shared households, how does that affect the financial decisions of an individual? So looking at some of those ideas, we begin with a summary of what we already know about this effect. So like Dr. Devaney said, it is a literature review, and we looked far and wide to see what do we already know? How do people describe extended families? Intergenerational wealth transfers is usually the first thing that will come up when you're talking about financial decisions. But then how do we expand that? What do we know about shared households, sharing resources with other people? So we start with a real summary about that. We explore some demographic and community differences there. So we look and see, okay, here's what we know for Americans. This is what extended families look like, the effect of extended families on financial decisions. Well, what about particular communities? What about particular subgroups? So we looked to see what we could find there, certain cultural traditions around maybe expectations for caretaking, expectations for inheritance, marriage, all sorts of things that have to do with money across our lives. And then we looked for some the current role for financial educators and what they have to work with the whole family. So we try to find some good positive examples. I love when you finish a lit review and it just says, there's nothing. You guys really need to get to work. So we tried to find some positive things to say, people are doing good work on this, people are publishing, people are giving examples of kind of best practices on how to engage the whole family and really think about households in a different way beyond me and the people who live in my house who are maybe directly related to me. We conclude with some recommendations for financial educators and counselors on how to incorporate the influence of extended family members as they work with individuals. So ultimately, if I'm a financial counselor, I am an accredited financial counselor. If I'm working one-on-one with somebody, what can I include in that conversation? What kind of questions can I ask to get a better idea of their household, except for what's your household income? Right? What is your current employment status? What is your marriage status? To really build a bigger picture, get a richer understanding of the household in what is going to be a one-on-one conversation. So that's the big overview. We had a couple examples from the authors to get you guys thinking about some of these. So right now, Dr. Gutter's folks are living with him in Gainesville. So that's a source of support that he's providing to some extended family. Bubby and Zadie Gutter are at home, maybe helping provide some support back, maybe helping to pick up his children and offer some support around the household, and maybe sometimes a little bit of stress. But that's an opportunity for his children to see a little bit more about their extended family, right? Having grandparents living in the household with you changes your understanding about maybe the relationship of your parents with your grandparents. Maybe they're learning a little bit about retirement planning and understanding some of those decisions. And so it really gives them a different perspective than the more traditional kind of American model of more distant grandparents. Dr. Kim had a story to share from extended family that her maternal grandfather passed away only 2 years after her parents were married, and her youngest aunt was only about 6 years old. So sort of a unique situation, and her mother and father were able to financially support her mother's 5 siblings. So they were newlyweds, had this recent death, and they kind of took on this caretaking in a financial way role of